go to the ninth. Roy Halladay, 3 outs away.
They were swinging and missing at him early that night. This guy was unbelievable.
As Halladay strikes him out.
He really got into a nice comfort zone. He had just such a great tempo that night.
He's not been a doctor tonight, he's been a surgeon.
I felt like I had the stuff to be able to go out and be aggressive and force 3 pitches down their throat.
2 outs. And history on the line here in Philadelphia.
Halladay 1 out away from a no-hitter.
There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series.
Down 2-0. The Boston Red Sox have come storming back. No hits allowed by Pedro Martinez from the 4th inning on. The chance of a lifetime for Luis Gonzalez. Floater, center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
This is MLB's Epic Moments. The doctor is on. The Philadelphia Phillies acquired 6-time All-Star Roy Halladay before the 2010 season. Doc was welcomed warmly by the Phillies, who were seeking their 3rd straight pennant.
This is a dream come true for me to play in Philadelphia. So thank you very much.
Halladay was a 1995 first-round pick by the Blue Jays. And during his 12 seasons in Toronto, he became one of the best of his era.
Swing and a miss.
He won the Cy Young Award in 2003.
Strike 3 called.
And his name became synonymous with durability.
Roy Halladay pitches his 2nd straight shutout.
Roy led the AL in complete games 5 times in a 7-year stretch.
From the first pitch to the last, you see that he brings his A game.
I just knew what I had to do.
And that is strike number 3.
First pitch strikes, being aggressive, going after hitters.
When he was in Toronto, I want him on my team.
What a night for Roy Halladay. This was masterful.
But despite Halladay's mastery,
Roy just took him to school.
Toronto couldn't stand up to the big boys in the AL East, finishing at least 10 games out of first 11 times during Roy's tenure.
And this team right now is scuffling.
It seemed as if Halladay might never get to showcase his brilliance in postseason play.
I didn't want to vocally ask for a trade. You know, I felt like that was not the right way to go about it. So I really felt kind of trapped.
Meanwhile, a new era had dawned in Philadelphia, where the Phillies had become winners.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of baseball.
And while they returned to the Fall Classic the very next year, they fell short. The Phils set their sights on an ace, and Roy was open to the plan.
I really wanted to go to Philly. I mean, that's really where I wanted to be.
He got his wish and looked forward to the future.
I feel like, you know, I have a chance here to accomplish, you know, things that I would like to accomplish. The chance to try and play in the postseason and ultimately win a World Series.
Beautiful day here in Clearwater, Florida, trying to get better. So I'm gonna go get better.
Adding a Cy Young guy like Roy, I've heard his work ethic is second to none, that he's basically just a beast.
Damn, bro, hey, got a smaller glove. You looking at Fanatics glove?
You hardly hear the guy. You know, you see him going about his business. You know, every day, you know, he's here at 5:30 in the morning, working out, getting ready, getting mentally, physically prepared.
I'm looking forward to getting out there, playing behind him, and then just watching him do what he does.
Phillies pitcher Roy Halladay.
There were a few things going in there. Knowing Philly, knowing the fans, knowing the environment, you have to go in and succeed quickly.
Which he did, starting the year 4-0 with an ERA under 1.
Everything going Halladay's way.
Roy Halladay, complete game shutout.
This was familiar territory for Halladay. He knew all about personal success.
Roy Halladay pulled the string on him.
But finally being on a team with a championship pedigree, that was unique.
That whole first year, I had to pinch myself every day, sitting on the bench, looking at the packed stands.
They're averaging 45,000 plus.
Looking around the field at the guys that I'm playing with.
A walk-off home run!
Is this actually real? Like, this can't be real. And I was in awe of them from day one. I said, look, I don't want to step on any toes. This is your team. I just want to chip in.
We had guys that kind of got it. That's all Doc wanted to do, was kind of fit into that.
And Chase Utley, Raul Ibanez, Jason Worth, they said, no, it's our team. You're a part of this as well.
Coming up.
Roy Halladay has allowed 7 runs.
He's done, he's overworked, they're using him too much. That kind of fueled my fire a little bit.
Early on in the 2010 season, the newly acquired Roy Halladay was living up to expectations.
It's like this is Steve Carlton, only right-handed.
But a rough outing created some unease.
Halladay's in search of some outs here. Towering shot. It's got some distance. Ibanez is back, and it is gone.
You know, it just got crushed, obviously, in Philly.
That's the shortest outing Roy Halladay has had this year, 5 2/3. He allowed 8 hits and so far 7 runs.
He's done, he's overworked, they're using him too much. That kind of fueled my fire a little bit.
You never doubted whether he was going to come back. He was going to fix whatever it was that needed to be fixed.
1 week later, Halladay faced the man who would go on to lead the NL in ERA that year.
Roy Halladay, Josh Johnson, Marlins, and Phillies.
You can feel the electricity, couple of aces in the house.
He was a fun guy to pitch against because it was always a challenge.
And a swing and a miss.
Josh Johnson at that time was every bit the equal of Roy Halladay.
Both guys went through each lineup pretty easily.
Valdez is down on strikes.
And Doc appeared to be in full control.
Uggla goes down swinging.
And it was just a classic pitching duel.
It was a 1-0 game. And the only reason we had a run was the center fielder misjudged the ball out there.
Cameron Maybin's misplay had given the Phillies that gift.
At that point, I felt like we had it. We had the game.
Doc's confidence stemmed from the fact that early on, he was perfect.
And a call, strike 3, 93 right at the knees for Roy Halladay. He is dealing tonight, folks. Roy Halladay has faced 18. He's retired all 18 tonight. The man is a thinker, and you wonder what he's thinking about right now.
It's not going to happen. So quit worrying about it.
Halladay's staying with Ruiz. He's not shaking him off, or he hasn't that I've noticed.
On the inside corner, called strike 3.
The sinker, quarter, everything was working. So when he upped that, it was no chance.
He has stunned one Marlins hitter after another.
I figured it wasn't going to happen anyway.
Halladay has faced 24 batters tonight. He has retired all 24.
And I could care less if I threw it 1 or not.
So far, perfect. And he's a strike away.
Hit toward third. Castro has it. Spins, fires. A perfect game.
Roy Halladay, the 20th in Major League history.
Huh.
I didn't, and we're there together.
To me, it's as much of a big deal for him as it is for me.
They were on the same page. They were on the same wavelength. It was remarkable.
Chooch said, this guy's a horse. He's unbelievable. This guy's insane. Chooch, all he talked about after that, thank you so much for getting this guy because he's so special.
He says, I want you to know how much I care about your success. He said, I want you to succeed more than I want myself to succeed.
There we go!
After that, I didn't want to let him down.
When he was in the mound and I was catching, I feel like we only like one person.
Face on.
The Phillies eventually gained an insurmountable lead in the NL East.
Congratulations.
And in a late September game against the Nationals, Halladay took a mental approach that soon after would serve him well.
I'm going to treat this like a playoff start. I'm going to pretend this is a playoff start just to see what would happen.
Seldom does he throw two pitches in the same spot.
Swing and a miss.
Roy's two-hit shutout that day put the Phillies and Doc into postseason play.
Swing and a miss. He got him. And the Philadelphia Phillies have won their 4th straight National League East crown. What a night for Roy Halladay. His 21st win, and the celebration begins. It has to feel unbelievable for a guy like Roy Halladay, who in all of his career has never been to the postseason.
That's what I had worked my whole career for to get to.
This is what it's all about. This is what you came here for. How good was it, Roy?
It was fun, but it's only going to get funner. But it's a dream come true.
Coming up.
I'd blocked everything out. I didn't let myself think about, okay, we have a chance to win my first playoff game.
Game 1 of the National League Division Series, Citizens Bank Park here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The Phillies entertain the Cincinnati Reds.
It had taken 13 years to reach this point, but for the first time in his storied career, Roy Halladay was going to start a postseason game.
It is so loud in here, you can't even hear your heartbeat.
And the Phillies hit the field behind the ace of aces, Roy Halladay.
Halladay been waiting his whole life for this.
This is different for him. This is why he came to Philadelphia. He came to pitch in games like this.
I had had so many nights where I sat up thinking what it would be like.
Has not worked, however, in 8 days. This is the 9th day since he last started.
You give me that much time to prepare and look at their hitters, there is no way that I'm going to let them out-prepare me.
We knew that he was going to put himself in a position to know every hitter, every nuance, how to get certain people out.
It's different than boxing. You don't go out and feel them out in the first inning.
Halladay tries for a perfect start.
You go out and knock them out in the first inning.
Votto swings and hits a one-hopper out the second. And Halladay gets a 1-2-3.
I wanted to come out swinging. I wanted to come out letting them know that I was going to be throwing punches.
Third baseman Scott Rowland had gotten in some jabs of his own a few days prior when he texted his one-time Toronto teammate.
Don't be scared that we're here and we're here to beat you. I replied, I'm ready, I'm waiting.
Great movement on everything tonight. I'd say that he was really ready and jacked up for this.
Roy Halladay gets rolling.
He wasn't going to intimidate me.
And Roy Halladay picking him up and putting him down.
I knew we were in trouble pretty early on. There was definitely a feeling that something was not going well for us.
Philadelphia gave Doc an early lead.
And the Phillies draw first blood.
And Halladay got the chance to extend it.
Phillies 1, Reds nothing.
2 on, 2 out.
Now Halladay batting.
You have to understand, this is an American League guy. He hadn't had a whole lot of at-bats. But he ran into a fastball.
And Halladay lines one to left. Gomes cannot make the play.
Ruiz will score. Roy Halladay with a single to left and an RBI. And it's a 2-0 Phillies lead.
Even though it was a lucky hit, you know, it was like, that's pretty cool.
2 batters later, Shane Victorino plated 2 more to make it 4-0. But the damage had been done, most notably by a pitcher with 16 career hits.
Dusty Baker had talked after that inning, and he said, you know, what really killed him was the base hit by Doc Halladay.
The hit that hurt was a 2-out RBI by Doc Halladay, you know, who usually doesn't get many hits.
And that was like the greatest compliment I've ever gotten.
We had the type of offense we felt could compete in that one, but by the time Halladay had thrown, you know, the first couple, 3-4 innings, it looked like it was going to be a real uphill battle. He was always working ahead in the count.
The key to success for me and against that team was to force it down their throat.
Strike 3 call.
Man, oh man. Roy Halladay locked and loaded here early.
4-0 in favor of the Phillies. We're in the top of the 5th inning, and the Reds had yet to get a base runner.
Roland would soon get still another message from Halladay.
The comeback sinker.
And Scott proceeded to have one of his own for umpire John Hirschbeck.
Scott Rowland came around the plate and he said, John, so if you keep giving him that much off the plate.
Just saw a replay of Rowland's strikeout. It was outside.
He's going to throw a no-hitter.
2 batters later, Jay Bruce made sure it wouldn't be a perfect game.
So the first base runner for Cincinnati comes with 2 outs in the 5th inning.
No perfect game tonight.
I didn't care. We were winning. That's all that mattered. And if I can get away from Bruce onto the next guy, I'm good to go.
Here's Drew Stubbs.
And a bouncing ball out to Rollins.
Inside to get Bruce, and Roy Halladay is not allowed a hit.
Coming up.
No hits allowed through 8 innings tonight here in Game 1.
I could feel the field shaking.
After a decade as one of the game's top pitchers, Roy Halladay had the chance to make history in his first postseason start.
Halladay's throwing a gem, and not only does it look like we may lose a game, but we're going to be no hit.
From the 6th inning on, I think it was pretty evident that he had no hit stuff that night.
And Marty says to me, this bleeper's going to pitch a no-hitter tonight, isn't he? And I went, I think he is.
We're talking about a guy that has never pitched in a postseason game.
That's right.
He was also pitching after a longer than usual break.
This guy's had 8 days off, and he's going out here and he's painting. He is on the black. He's on the knees. He's running balls in on the hands. How did you do that? How do you do that? How can you be that good?
On this epic night, it was a question with an answer. One for the baseball world to see.
Curveball, swing and a miss. He struck him out. A half dozen for Halladay, who has not allowed a hit through 7 shutout innings tonight.
It's probably going to get broken out by a blooper or something, so I'm not worried about that.
We head to the top of the 8th inning.
I just want to win the game. But by the same token, when you thought about it for years and years and years.
Here's the windup and the pitch to Stubbs.
How would I do in this situation?
Strike 3 called over the outside corner. No hits allowed through 8 innings tonight here in Game 1.
To be able to answer that question meant a lot to me.
Top of the 9th inning. The Phillies have a 4-0 lead.
8 no-hit innings for Halladay at his first postseason start.
And there has really never been anything resembling a base hit. Ramon Hernandez will be leading the inning off.
Once I got to the 9th inning, just for a split second, I felt like, okay, I have a shot at this. I wanted to remember it. I wanted to feel it. I just slightly let myself feel it. And then, okay, that's enough of that. Let's go.
In the air.
Right side of the infield. Utley is calling. He's got it with 2 hands. 1 away in the 9th. There has been only 1 no-hitter in postseason history.
Don Larson.
I think a perfect game in the World Series was far more remarkable.
The most dramatic baseball game ever played.
He was in a separate class.
Roy Halladay's pitched 8 1/3 innings of no-hit baseball.
I could feel the field shaking.
Miguel Cairo will be the pinch hitter.
In the air. Over is Valdez. 2 outs.
When he caught it and did the little quick pull thing, I was like, ugh, don't drop it.
The Reds' last hope, Brandon Phillips.
Once you get 2 outs, that's when I think you go, okay, now I'm going to try for it.
You're just hoping that something doesn't go wrong, some odd thing doesn't happen.
Halladay is one strike away. The 0-2. A bouncer. Ruiz.
If I don't make this play, you know, it's over.
It would have been very easy for him to overrun that ball or to reach down and it not be there for him.
I saw it roll up against the bat and I went, uh-oh. I thought it was done. I thought this is how it's going to end.
Wow. Would that have been an awful way to lose a no-hitter?
In time! And it's a no-hitter! Unbelievable!
I don't know how he did it. To reach back, be falling, and throw the ball.
Right now, it's here in my heart, you know. And it's something that I'm going to keep for the rest of my life, you know, because that was a special moment.
The second no-hitter in Major League postseason history.
For me, it's probably the most amazing game I've seen pitch, bar none.
This was such a cool feeling. To have it end the way it did, storybook. This is special. I almost didn't want it to end. You're hoping there's another inning because you just never want that to end.